Hello everybody, I'm Jeffrey Hauser. I'm going to show you today how to use a compareWith function with Angular material, and I'm going to use a select box. But I'm going to start from scratch. So first I'm in IntelliJ. I'm going to create a new project, Angular CLI project, compare with first screencast. Oh, okay, boom, doesn't like the underscore. This should go through. Create whatever we need to create. IntelliJ is running the, I believe it's ng-new command behind the scenes to create the app. Done. So, boom. I'm going to do a, for simplicity, copy this path, go over to my console. There we go. And now I'm going to add Angular material. This will install whatever needs to be installed via npm and give us some default settings to set up our project. I'm going to go with deep purple and amber. We don't need hammer.js. Well, we don't need animations, but why not? Not for the purposes of this sample. So then let's go. First, I'm going to open our app module here, and I'm going to add the mat select module. There we go. Imports it, and we should be good to go. I am going to go to our main app component. We don't need this title here. I'm going to create two variables. So the issue we're actually trying to solve here, I haven't spoken about that yet, is we're creating a select box. Iterating over an array to determine what's inside it. But our actual data provider, which is creating that that select box, contains objects. So when we load something from the database, the object is different. So it doesn't know how to automatically select something, and this is what the compareWith function is going to solve for us. And I'm going to completely cheat, and I'll create the first few by hand. So I'm just going to create a drop down or a select box with a bunch of names in it. And I'm just going to grab, I'm referring to a bunch of options. And I'm also going to create a selected user. We're going to pretend this is our value pulled from the database, although for the purposes of this sample, we're not going to do it. So that is all we need here for the moment. Let's go into the HTML. I'm going to select all and delete that. So we're going to select value, and that's going to be selected user. And in here, we're going to create a container, and we're going to loop over our data provider. let user of data provider and in container. And in here, we're going to create our mat options. Value is going to be user. So key thing to note here, the value is the actual user object, not like an ID or something specific on it. And the display value is user name. Now, if I've done everything right, we switch back to the console. This will run and compile our code, this ngserve. And I'm going to go ahead and load it in the browser. And I have done something wrong. What have I done wrong? Well, that could be an issue. Let's go. Data provider. I don't think that's the issue, but and the issue is that is missing. Just mistypo. So reload. Now we can select something. But the problem is, even though we're setting this selected user value, which is indeed set to one of our valid users, because it's doing an object compared to this value, the objects are not identical. So we need to address that and fix that. And we are going to do that by putting a compareWith function on the mat select. And we're going to call this selected user compare function. We're not calling it, we're passing the function in as the argument. So, boom, we have a value and an option are the two things passed in here. So it's the value that comes from our data provider, and the option is our selected value. And we are going to return value equals option. So we actually want to compare the names, because value and option are both referring to objects, so that's basically the default comparison. But if we do names, bingo. Now when we load it in the browser, we properly have the item selected. And this whole functionality is built, designed, put into this app. This probably a directive in Angular material to prevent the issue of selecting an item when we're actually using objects as the data provider, and the object that we load from the server is not going to be identical to the object that we're using in the data provider. They're going to be separate objects, so this direct comparison will not work. So that's how you use a compareWith function with a mat select inside an Angular application.